This is January 19th, 2023, and it's the Jefferson County Health Board, and Emelia, I think it's pronounced, De Souza, is giving a presentation about Port Townsend being a human rights city. So you're going to probably hear the previous person a little bit, but let's listen in.
In the window is, are you guys collecting the info? Like, are the kids telling you, like, this is what's important to me?
I'm going to turn that down until we get to the next part here. Let's see here. I'll just skip ahead a little bit.
Pictures of the shoes we've collected, as well as little,
This is just a previous project.
Move on to our next presentation. Thanks for joining us, Emelia. We're going to hear from the Human Rights Alliance North Sound as they, rekindle.
So they called it Human Rights Alliance North Sound.
Take to the next level, the commission, the Human Rights Commission. So
they want to take it to the next level. This is Emelia up here. They'll switch to her. But taking it to the next level now, after they completely violated our human rights? Okay, let's listen in.
I'm glad that you could join us, and I saw you've got a slideshow to share, so now is the appropriate time to share your screen and take us through it. Really glad to have you here.
Okay, I'm trying. Okay, good. Is my screen showing up? Am I sharing the screen?
Looks perfect.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for this opportunity to present. And also, thank you so much for all what you do for the health of our community. I'm a transplant patient, so I really use your services, and I really thank you.
And this video is not meant to be anything negative of this trans woman. However, she founded Olympic Pride. Olympic Pride incited a violent mob against us. I'm a lesbian. I've been here over 10 years. I matter. Julie Jaman matters. Amy matters. All of the women there attacked matter. Okay, let's listen in.
Thank you so much. My name is Emelia De Souza, and I am Secretary of Human Rights Alliance North Sound. Our mission is to promote the inalienable fundamental human rights of dignity, worth, and I gotta move this thing over here, worth and mutual respect, and to bring awareness and promotion of social progress and better standards of living through dialogue and awareness. So where did we start from? Jill Bueller, Reed now, we met at the hospital cafeteria, and we had a discussion about human rights. She said that human rights has been my passion. So we renamed Gender Alliance North Sound to Human Rights Alliance North Sound.
I have to pause it a minute. If human rights is her passion, why not make a stand for Julie Jaman and all of us attacked? Why not come out and say that that was wrong what happened to us and we deserve human rights too? What defines a human? What is a human right? Are we not human? Let's continue.
And we started on our path to create a human rights commission. So we had a meeting with former Commissioner Kathleen Clare, and she said, basically, you need to develop your program, you need to show your outcomes, and then you...
So this was 2015, okay? So the outcome is Olympic Pride, which she founded, assaulting people in the street, taking away our human rights, taking away our dignity, our worth, our right to speech, just because we have a view that they don't like.
You show me outcomes. I'm lost my track here. Oh yeah, and then you have to strategically plan. I'm quoting that. Strategically plan how you can involve everybody in the county on forming this commission.
Okay, strategically involve how you can bring involve everybody in the county. Okay, but that don't mean everybody. It doesn't mean me. It doesn't mean Julie Jaman or Amy Sousa or the rest of us at that press conference where we were all mobbed, and they still deny our experience. And she was the founder of Olympic Pride.
Well,
again, this is not to be anything negative against Emelia. Check out my stuff online. You can email me at reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com for more information on all these stories. I'm just pointing out that Port Townsend is not a human rights city, and they are not even attempting to involve everyone in the county.
I didn't know what to do. How am I going to be able to do this? So in one of the hospital commission meetings, Mike Glenn was reporting about the abortion task force that he had created. And I said, oh, there it is. There's my answer. So 2016, we proposed to the city that they endorse HRANS, which is the abbreviation, a 3-phase plan to create a joint human rights commission and declare Port Townsend a human rights city. So what is a human rights city? And that's there's 2 ways you can declare yourself a human rights city, and that is to formal and informal. Informal, you can just say I'm a human rights city, or the formal would be to endorse the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Just because they endorse a declaration or they make a pledge, their record shows. Check out the Julie Jaman press conference. I have a lot of stuff online, all the officer footage. We were assaulted. The city of Port Townsend, Olympic Pride, attacked us in the street. And former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, she was the one driver behind that. So in my research, I found 2 endorsements by 2 cities in North Carolina, believe it or not, Chapel Hill and Carrboro, North Carolina. And what they did, they went ahead and updated the public domain document to remove the word mankind and replace it with humankind. Why can't we say men and women?
And change Article 2, also change status as ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Now, and then also Article 16 should make reference to people rather than men and women. It should add ethnicity to the limitation clause and should acknowledge the rights of all persons to enter into civil marriage with their partner of choice, regardless of gender. And then also, throughout the document, any reference to his, him, or himself should be stated them or themselves in order to be gender exclusive. So I'm changing my proposal from a commission to Jefferson County Council for Human Rights. And the mission of it is to advise the county government and the Jefferson County community on issues related to discrimination, violence, and harassment based on race or national origin, religion, age, gender expression, sexual orientation, disability.
Okay, so they discriminated against Julie Jaman for her age. They discriminated against people for their religion. They discriminated against us for our sexual orientation because we're, we wanted to speak. I'm a lesbian. Half of the speakers, they discriminated against that. Many of the speakers disabled. Okay. They promoted violence and harassment. It's all on video. So the reason I'm showing you this is because this same person founded Olympic Pride. And when I went to her page to see, well, what's she doing now? Like, is she not involved in it anymore? Was she not part of the inciting the violence? Was she not part of Olympic Pride or part of this? But she is still part of it all. Okay, and because she founded it, it's my opinion she should have come out and denounced the violence. Instead, they're trying to pretend that none of it happened and that they're all do-gooders. Okay, advising county governments, right? They incited a violent mob against us. They discriminated against us. They were violent towards us. They harassed us based on our views, our religion, our age, our gender, the way we express our gender. All of us, Julie, Amy, me, all of those women that spoke, the man that spoke, and the men and women that were there supporting us, they violently attacked in the streets. They berated us online. They gaslighted us. Councilwoman Libby Wennstrom said we staged it all, right? They said, oh, we just made it up. All this stuff is online. Check out on Facebook, my Port Townsend News Facebook page. I also have a group called Case in Point. Check that out. And all this stuff that would apply for human rights in Jefferson County, they gave us none of it. Okay, is this for everybody or just for who they say?
Ability or economic status. And our vision is to promote equitable treatment of all people and reduce prejudice through education resource referral.
Okay. Vision to promote equitable treatment. They did not treat us equal at all. Julie Jaman had no voice, okay? They threw her out of the YMCA. The Olympic Pride, these same people attacked her. They didn't give her equitable treatment. They did no investigation. The city, the county, all the people involved did no investigation to either side. There was nothing equitable about it. They chose one side and incited a violent attack and discrimination, abusive process, mental anguish, all kinds of laws they broke and violations against us. All people, not us. Only the people that they say are people. They had made no attempt to reduce prejudice. They inflamed prejudice behavior. Okay, they didn't educate. They didn't do any research on it. They didn't see who we were. They didn't bother to listen to our speeches, which were for and not against. None of us were hateful. None of us were evil, bad people. They were all violent people. Okay, men and women attacking us in the street violently and suppressing our speech, shutting us down. That's what these guys are actually for. Okay?
And advocacy. So, the three-phase plan is phase one. What we're doing right now is gathering endorsements throughout the county. I've sent.
Whoever endorses this human rights campaign is promoting what Olympic Pride and the same founder, what they did to us, okay? They're not about equality. They're about my people, my way, who I say matters, okay? And it seems like only trans women want to be able to have human rights. And the rest of them, Port Townsend straight people, the government, men and women of all ages, gays, lesbians, trans, attacked us violently in the street. They attacked Julie ahead of that. They discriminated against us all. They attacked us online after. Okay? We were on the right side of the moral compass. We were on the right side of the law. We had no voice at all. The YMCA did not follow the rule of three. Julie's intuition was right. They did not have the proper changing room by law. They could have easily said, just let Julie calm down, let the employee calm down, and have a solution for all sides if they really wanted to be part of these values. Of course, all the Port Townsend businesses and government will endorse human rights, but I'm telling you, you can see from my videos and all of my research and all my freedom of information, it is not a human rights city by any means. They'll probably call it that. They'll identify as, we're the best city and we love everybody. They identified our attack as beautiful, okay, as supportive. But it's not true. All right, let's listen into some more.
Requests to the police department, the fire department, and the board. I already have a.
The police department cannot say, we endorse human rights. Okay, they don't. We've proved it. We have emails that they discriminated against Julie. They hated her. They discriminated against Amy. And that brought danger on the rest of us. And so did the city manager. And so did Kate Dean, the city commissioner. So neither the city nor the county nor the police. I don't know nothing about the fire department. But these other entities were involved in massive human rights violations. It's all on the record.
An endorsement from Jefferson County Hospital. And once we have gathered the endorsements, then we go and start phase two. That's to select a 7-member task force, at least 3 from the city and 3 from the county. The 7th chosen by the 6 standing members. This was what former Commissioner Kathleen Clare was talking about, how we can include everybody and bring them to the table so that we're in.
Okay, remember, when they say include everybody, they don't mean straight people that support individual rights, boundaries, and consent. They don't mean anybody that supported Julie Jaman, an elder in our community that had compassion for her. Anybody like me who investigates the situation or supports someone's intuition, which was right. They don't support people calling out laws that were broke. Okay. And also check out the Michael Allmain case chronology.blogspot.com. What the human rights violations there were horrendous of the city. Okay, Olympic Pride was not involved in that. However, the founder of Olympic Pride was, she founded Olympic Pride, and they were involved in inciting massive pain on us, and still doing it. So when they talk about being inclusive, they're not inclusive. It's only who they say matters, who they say are people, who they say should have human rights. And by they, I mean the city, the police, Olympic Pride, Bo Ogren at Quimper, John Morrow, city manager, Libby Wennstrom. Check out Facebook on any of these people and find the freedom of information. Find the hate they brought on us, the discrimination, the violations of human rights. They can say whatever they want, but they are not inclusive. They are not non-discriminating.
Inclusive, rather than just dumping this out there and say, take this, brother, may you serve you well, there'll be a lot of pushback from that, because we didn't involve everybody to be able to develop this council. The task force is charged to design the council, numbers of members, policy, how it works, how many, when they meet, and any other facets that they would be charged from the task force. The task force then would design the council, and then that one got out of order. We submit findings to the council, the commissioners, and the city council. Phase 3 would be implementation. So basically, I sent you the new proposal in a Word document, changing from Jefferson County Human Rights Commission to Jefferson County Council for Human Rights. And this is patterned or modeled after Kitsap County Council for Human Rights. They've been in business for 30 years. And so I was thinking that we could use them as a model. And there's tremendous amount of information that Rebecca, the liaison person for the council, has said that she's going to send me for more, like the resolution, how to create the council and all that kind of stuff. And we already have a process here where we can establish a new council or advisory board. And that's about basically it. And anybody has any questions?
Thank you so much. Questions for Emelia? Comments? Yes, go ahead, Amanda.
Sorry, I'm just going to comment on everything today. Emelia, thank you so much for the presentation. This isn't the first brush with this. I think it's timely, and I'm kind of surprised that our small community doesn't already have a solid foundational, organized body that addresses human rights issues.
It's not a surprise to me because look at the Michael Allmain case in detail. They literally violated a court order to not return his dog and nearly killed him. What they did to him was a horrible violation of human rights. And the same thing with Julie Jaman. And the actual city attorney, the counties, the officials were involved. So of course they don't want to have a human rights commission or human rights at all. And my concern with a human rights commission is who do they define worthy of human rights? We were a diverse group, lesbians, gay, straight, pagan, Christian, men, women, and they didn't give us any human rights or any rights of equality. Let's continue.
For our county and our community. I know there's a lot of work that a human rights organization might do that is done in various parts of the health department and the hospital and through law enforcement and OLICAP and all of these organizations. But I think as evidenced through some real community upheaval earlier this summer, I think it's really evident that there is a need to have a container for having a container for addressing human rights.
Okay, so she's talking about what I'm talking about. So the Julie Jaman stuff, an upheaval this summer. It wasn't an upheaval. It was discrimination and a violation of human rights. It was easy. There's never been a point in time where a young whippersnapper didn't clash with an 80-year-old, right? The YMCA, all they had to do was calm down both sides and find a solution and then get into compliance with law and explain to the employee the rule of three, make everybody happy. But instead, the city, you can see through FOIA emails, discriminated immediately against Julie Jaman in a violation of due process, right? They just picked one side with no investigation, and Julie was right as a matter of law and policy. Okay? So they discriminated against her. John Morrow, the city manager, talking with the chief of police, they already were discriminating before we were mobbed and assaulted. Let's continue here.
Issues in our county, and I don't know what, if any, action this body can take around it, but I just really want to.
Well, I just want to say here that the action this body could take is people like Kate Dean and Libby Wennstrom. Let's say Kate Dean, she called us anti-trans. We was not. They didn't even listen to our speeches. I was promoting pride. I was saying positive things. I was saying loving things. They were horrible and hateful to us. Libby Wennstrom said we faked it, said that Julie was groomed. Look at my Libby Wennstrom Facebook group. Google any of this stuff or look on Facebook. It's all out there, what they all said. So the actual people in the government are the ones inciting the hate. So as far as what action they can take is, first of all, get rid of those people because they are violating our human rights, our right to due process, our right to dignity. They're giving us no worth. Our basic human and civil rights were violated by the people in the government right away. The email I posted today between John Morrow to the city manager and the chief of police, he discriminated against Julie Jaman immediately with no investigation. And what she had said was right as a matter of law and policy. Continuing.
Voice my support for such an endeavor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Go ahead, Case.
Yeah, just to say hello. I haven't seen you in a long time, Emelia, and it's just really great to hear that you're continuing to plug away at this important issue. And I won't reiterate all of the wonderful words that Amanda said, but I guess the question that I have is are you looking for some kind of official endorsement from this body, and what does that look like?
Yes, I am looking for an endorsement for phase one, which is gathering endorsements and from the county. So yes, I'm looking for support.
I would think with endorsements there should be accountability. Libby Wennstrom needs to be held accountable for what she did. Now, Kate Dean commented she may not have known. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. She may not have known all the facts. She certainly hasn't come out in defense of human rights since. But what Libby did was actual horrible human rights violations. She posted that we were TERFs and get out of town and horrible, hateful things about us all. So the first thing to do is to get rid of all of the people that were involved in the hate, that are in the government.
Is that particularly to endorse the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, plus minus potentially the Chapel Hill updates, or to endorse your organization specifically?
Both.
Okay.
And also, I've been trying to get.
I don't see how the originator of Olympic Pride can be endorsed through another nonprofit without some sort of making of amends, without making it right what happened. It's not okay what happened to us. Why would the county and the city endorse the same person? And again, I'm not saying anything negative about this person, but what happened to us is not okay. Okay, why would you endorse the person who founded Olympic Pride, who incited a riot against us, a violation of our human rights? I'm a woman, I'm a lesbian, I'm 52-year-old, I have rights. Julie Jaman is an elder, she has rights. Emelia De Souza has rights as a human being and a citizen and a rape survivor. None of us were given rights. We were an incredibly diverse group, and none of us were given basic human rights.
Chimicum Brennan and Coulson on the Municipal Equality Index. And you don't necessarily need to be a municipality, because Vashon Island uses King County's process and model for them to be able to be certified. So we could have 3 more census designated places on the Municipal Equality Index, which I think would be really good. And also, if we do, if the county does endorse the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we would...
Universal Declaration of Rights. For who? You will not find a more diverse group. And 2 weeks later, when we come back and protested what the city did, there was gay men there. There was trans people a part of that group. Okay? These guys that attacked us now want to be part of a human rights, these same parties and government nonprofits. I object.
Be the first human rights county, basically. I always believe in the first.
We've been the first on other things. So.
First time.
I was going to say the same thing.
So perhaps I could ask our chair, Greg Brotherton, what would be the next step? To have somebody draft a specific wording of a resolution that we could consider, or did I miss that? And is that
No, this was, I mean, we just heard from Emelia in the last week or so before agenda prep, and we wanted to hear straight from her mouth
This is Greg Brotherton, County Commissioner, talking.
what we're looking for. So this is the first step, and the next step is, I guess, maybe someone, if someone has the capacity to meet and consider this. I'm not sure if it should come from the Board of Health or the Board of County Commissioners. So this is really informational first step and seeing,
right.
Understanding what this work is. So really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we'll go to Libby, then Kate.
I'll chime in on this because it's a...
Okay, guys, this is Libby Wennstrom, right? Look on Facebook, Libby Wennstrom Facebook group. You can email me at reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. She said horrible, hateful things about us. She incited violence on us. We were a very diverse group. Discriminated against us as women, as lesbians, the Christians, the pagans, a very diverse group we were. They don't represent all the people, okay? It's not okay, and she should not be speaking on human rights in any way. Look up cityofporttownsend.blogspot.com, porttownsendnews.blogspot.com. I have videos on Rumble. You can see what the city did to us and what the council incited and endorsed. They endorsed hate. They endorsed human rights violation. They bragged about it after they'd hurt us and ran people out of town. It's all there, okay? Let's listen to what Libby Wennstrom has to say.
Sort of related to something that came up at the city level this summer. And my gut is that it's probably more effective to go, or more broader scope to go to the county commission rather than the Board of Health. But I mean, the Board of Health certainly could take it up if the commission doesn't have the time or bandwidth to do that.
I have detailed files on all these proposals, the Human Rights City, the Municipal Equality Index, and also the proposal for the council. So I think I'm supposed to talk with Kate here soon and and do a presentation to the county itself, county commissioners itself. So all I need from you folks is just, you know, a blessing, and yes, we support you, and
A blessing and support. The founder of Olympic Pride. They incited a violent mob on 11 of us speakers and our dozen or so supporters. They didn't even hear our speeches. Nothing was negative. It was not anti-trans. They don't want human rights for all. This is my opinion.
we think this is a good idea, basically.
So are we looking for a motion here, or are we just saying, yeah, we want to move forward with this and see what next steps are with the county, or?
Hold on 1 second, Libby. Kate was about to go into the conversation. That I think
Sorry.
Yeah. So I think the big question here
This is Libby in the video, but Kate Dean is speaking, Commissioner Kate Dean.
is whether the county and or the city and county want to formally adopt this as a advisory board. And that is, the models that Emelia and I talked about are that.
Folks, I don't think Kate Dean should be endorsing anything. Michael Allmain, casechronology.blogspot.com. They all knew what happened to him, okay? The county, the police, they almost killed him, and they violated the law. They had nothing about human rights. I don't think any of these people should be on any human rights boards or connected to anything to do with acting like they even care about human rights across the board. They sure do for some groups. I'll give them that, but not the rest of us.
And we know that that has significant staffing and some formality, open public meetings associated with it that I think we have to be very mindful, even in making a recommendation.
Will you listen to us?
That there is a price of time investment there that I'm not sure we're in a position to commit to as the Board of Health without a lot more information and a lot of conversations with the city. So, Emelia, I've been remiss. I've not connected with the city yet, but it's on a long list of things that I need to talk to John Mora about, and I do plan to do that. And so, that might come.
And if anybody from the city's watching this, I'll be watching. I may not be able to stop you from pretending that you care about human rights, but I'll definitely be providing transparency.
Before City Council as well, Libby. So I think it's interesting.
City Councilwoman.
There's more involved than people often think in our boards and commissions, and so I just want to be mindful that we move forward consciously. You certainly have my support, as I hope you know, Emelia, and my hesitation is only just that there's limited capacity and staffing here, so we need to be careful in how we move forward.
Well, and is there an option as we think through the process of whether or not we can develop a formal advisory board of considering this Board of Health adopting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? I mean, I think that's something that would be possible shy of the advisory board.
You would think they wouldn't have to adopt that, but that we would have constitutional rights. But we don't in Port Townsend. I mean, I don't. Julie Jaman certainly don't. Amy Souza don't. And none of the gals and guys that were at that press conference, none of us had constitutional rights.
Word.
Yeah, those can be silent away, those two things. I think that's good. So perhaps to Case and Libby's question, what next?
What next is to get rid of Libby Wennstrom. Okay? There's been no accountability for the hate that she put us upon us. Horrible, hateful things she said of Rachel Burt and the turf and just the sick stuff she said about us. And Facebook chat with Don Christensen and other people. It's all posted on my Libby Wennstrom Facebook group.
Don't put a pin in it. We wanted to shine light on this developing group right now. And we'll look about whether we can sign on to the Declaration of Universal Human Rights. And it sounds like Kate is doing some digging on what that looks like. Who knows? Maybe.
And who's speaking is, I believe, Greg Brotherton. Up there. We're still on Libby. It's her screen that's showing.
It ends up with a Board of Health member on a non-government affiliated group. There's a lot of ways.
A non-government affiliated group. There's no such thing in Montana. I mean, Montana. Sorry, I'm from Montana. There's no such thing in Port Townsend. The government's affiliated with everything. I mean, this is the Board of Health, right? And we have a city council and we have county commissioners. And I mean, it's all quite intermingled.
To handle this, and I think you've got my commitment that this is worthy, especially as Libby was saying, seeing some of the stresses that came out this summer. I think it is very timely, and you certainly
right. But the city and the county created the stress. Okay, there's no stress, no problem. A gal gets upset at the YMCA, employees involved. All they had to do was give both sides dignity, human rights, and respect. And instead, the council members, the mayor, the city manager, the police, the county commissioner, and the paper, Kate Dean, all of them incited the public and incited a mob. Okay, that's what happened. Freedom of information shows that clearly, and so does all the video footage.
Certainly have my support too. So really appreciate your time and effort into this, and I think no action needed right now.
I'm going to back
but
that
we
up a
will
little
be
bit
in
once
touch,
you can hear that Greg Brotherton says you have my support too.
and we'll look about.
Do the rest of us? He was also turned a blind eye to the Michael Allman case. So did Kate Dean.
Whether we can sign on to the Declaration of Universal Human Rights, and it sounds like Kate is doing some digging on what that looks like. Who knows? Maybe it ends up with a Board of Health member on a non-government affiliated group. There's a lot of ways to handle this, and I think you've got my commitment that this is worthy, especially as Libby was saying, seeing some of the
my commitment that this is worthy.
Stresses that came out this summer. I think it is very time.
The stresses that came out this summer were caused by you folks. Okay, you guys incited them. You didn't provide any barrier between the groups. There was nothing hateful about our group. You incited a violent mob. You folks did that.
Emily, and you certainly have my support too. So really appreciate your time and effort into this. And I think no action needed right now, but we will be in touch and working through it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on.